Because we all know that the nights that we have something to do are the nights that they say, I'm not going to sleep for you. So,
oh yes. Dinner time and bedtime was like
yeah.
interesting.
Look at how many new faces are on here. This is so cool. I'm so excited.
Well, have you guys all, like, I was in like the waiting room. I've been down here just like working away for the past 15 minutes.
No, I know. I don't think it goes on until 8:30 anyway.
Okay.
Like, I think that was what we were waiting for. So I'm able to share my screen, right?
You can, or I can. I have the slides ready to go, but if you have them and you want to share, go right ahead, Max.
Are you on a computer? Is it easier for you or no?
It might be easier for me. Let me see how it goes. I'll move my coach office so that we won't see that first.
Yeah, I mean, I have it here too, so just let me know.
Okay.
You can wait like 1 minute and see if anybody else hops on. But
yeah, I thought that was a good idea too. Okay. Do you guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
All right. And let's do the big view. Last night when I was hosting a power hour, there was like so many little issues and I tried ahead of time. And anyway, I think I figured it out for today. All right. Everyone can see that okay and hear both Maggie and I?
Carol, I love your background, by the way. I can see your like the swirls and stuff. Some of my kids, when I'm doing Zoom with them right now, they have like spaceships behind them and stuff. I'm like, how do you even do that?
Oh, yeah.
How do you even do that?
I see you too. I host a morning meeting like with my kids and then like friends and whomever else wants to join. And one of the kids today was in Andy's room and I was like, what is he talking about? And it was Andy like from Toy Story.
Toy Story? Oh, that's so cool.
It was so cute. And I know them personally, so I'm like, I know that's not a house, like a room in your house.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right. Oh my gosh, there are so many faces. I know I have a couple girls that are planning to join. And I see, oh, hi, Jen. I see Jen. All right. Well, to honor all of your time, and because we do want to try and be done by 9, and then we'll open up for questions, we're going to get rolling. I just want to make sure I can see. Okay. It helps so I can see a few people's faces. All right. So, ladies, if you are here and this is your first coach call, welcome. We are so excited to drop some knowledge on you and hopefully not overwhelm you. I know when I first started, I definitely had a little bit of like skepticism and fear and overwhelm. So if you like are feeling any of that and have any questions, either drop them in the chat or at the end, if you feel comfortable, just unmute yourself and ask away. Maggie is a kindergarten teacher and she's rocking it from home with her 2 little ones. And I am a former middle school teacher. So we freaking love questions. So please, please, please jot them down. I'm honestly okay with like in between slides. If you have a question and you think you might forget it, you can ask it like in the moment then as well. Hopefully that's cool with you, Mags.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So let's get rolling. So let me move you all so that I can see this clear. So hopefully by now, you know that you have a ton of resources. And if this is the first time you're hearing it, here is a quick rundown. Here's a quick rundown. So first and foremost, if you don't already have tabs saved, I would suggest saving some tabs in your computer, somewhere, wherever you like go mostly to do work, because there are a couple different ones. Thankfully now with BOD groups, our groups are right in the BOD app and right on the BOD website. So that's helpful. New coach mentorship. So not only are you guys in this space right now with us, and hopefully probably in the Facebook group as well for this quarter new coaches, but there's also a new coach mentorship right in your back office. If you go to coach.teambeachbody.com. If your upline coach, which is possibly Maggie or myself, but also Dylan, or I think I saw Elena on here, so a few of her coaches might be here, or Ashley's. Ask them if they haven't already given you that like quick resource, because there is some really good resources right there. There's also probably, you may have several team Google Drives. The Inspiration Crew Google Drive is so packed with amazing resources that personally, I was overwhelmed by in the beginning. I was like, wow, this is awesome. But I literally didn't even like open it for, I'm not going to kid you, like a couple months. And I was creating content on my own. I was running like free challenge groups and then challenge groups like pretty much right out of the gate. And I so wish that I had actually like just put my pride aside and actually looked at the drive. So if you're in a place where you're like, I want to run with this, I want to make my own group, do it, but also know that like you don't have to create your own content. Like don't reinvent the wheel. And again, ask your upline coach if you're not sure like how to get access to the Google Drive. We will share that with you. I know for my girls, I don't share it until I know you are like wanting it, because again, I don't want you to get overwhelmed. National wake-up calls. Okay. These are something that I did do right in the beginning. And I swear, even now as a veteran coach, I've been in the business for about almost 3 years this summer. And it's still like amazing how much knowledge I get from the national wake-up calls. Yes, there's some stuff that's like kind of redundant or things that I just know being in the business for a while. But there are several things every single week that I take from these calls. So if you don't have access to them yet, definitely jot this down. Mondays, 11 a.m. Eastern. You can access it multiple ways. I'm sure hopefully you see that there's a post in the Inspiration Crew. If your team has a page, your upline coach has a page, they might be sharing it. And if not, just take ownership on for yourself and know that you can get text reminders. I actually posted it in my team page. I don't remember what the link is, but when Maggie's sharing, I will find it and I can drop it in the chat. And it's also live on Team Beachbody 401 or Beachbody 401. Really, really helpful calls every single week to get you like pumped up. Team calls, you're on one right now, which is awesome. And if this is your first, again, welcome, ask questions. And if you don't know when your team calls are, just ask your upline coach, because mine are Thursdays alternating with the Inspiration Crew coach calls or team calls. And yeah, team page, you might be in several. Again, do what you feel comfortable with. Try not to get overwhelmed. And when you do, talk with your upline coach and just tell them like, hey, I kind of need to pump the brakes in this page. But honestly, do not take a step back, because there are many coaches in the business that were like, man, I should have just pushed through and not stopped posting for a week or two, because that really makes a huge difference. So stay connected in some way, shape, or form. I spent way too much time on that slide. Maggie, take it away, girl.
You have to turn it. Oh, there it goes. All right. So this here is the business activity tracker. If you are looking to be successful in this business, this sheet of paper lays it out exactly what you need to do. And it gives it into 4 different sections. I don't think it shows the whole thing here, but first one is you need to be proof the products work. So that means you're doing your workouts daily, you're committing to a program, you're drinking your Shakeology, and showing people, what these programs are all about. The next part, it even breaks it down to you and tells you how long to be doing each thing. So the next thing here would be connect, invite, and follow up. Initiating connections, adding followers. There's a really awesome video that Micah did on the National Wake Up Call about collections and how you can do this. So that was something that for me, when I first started, I barely had any followers. I was super nervous about reaching out to new people, and it's just something that you grow with and you learn over time. And that is the bread and butter of this business, is making those connections. And it's really cool because like social media is for you to be social. Like don't feel like it's awkward that you're, loving up on someone's page. They want you to do that. Like they're being social for a reason. So don't feel weird about it. Posting things, that even gives you ideas of what to put in your story about daily life, workout clips, healthy meals. And then further down, it talks about the third thing is making sure that you're, checking into your challenge group. You as a coach need to be your number one challenger. You need to be the challenger in the group that you're in, that you want people coming in to be, which means you're checking in every single day with your workouts. You're checking in on your shakes. When you're in there, don't just be in there with intention. So maybe follow or comment on 2 or 3 girls that are in there and just give them some love. I mean, think about how when you get somebody, your coach messaging you saying like, great job today, or whatever it is that your coach says, or, when you say that to somebody else, it also is prepping you for when you have your own group. And then the 4th thing on here is personal development. So like how many other companies or businesses businesses tell you for your job that you need to take care of yourself mentally. Like the personal development part of this is the biggest piece. Like if my coaches are like starting to get in a funk or something like that, I'll ask them like, what personal development are you doing? So the business activity tracker is laid out for you. If you do this consistently, you will see success. There's like the only way that you won't see success is if you stop or if you aren't doing these things. And it's not like, okay, I'm going to do this on Thursday and Saturday and maybe Wednesday. Like you should be doing them each day of the week. And then if you want to set your business hours for Saturday, Sunday, that's totally up to you because you're your own boss. So
Maggie, I'm really impressed that you knew like pretty much exactly what was on the tracker. Did you have it next to you?
I spiral bounded it at Staples and I have one for like each week of the year. So
Oh, I knew that. And I mean, I look at it every single day, so I should have it memorized, but I like whipped out my binder just in case you didn't know. I was like, I got her back.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, there are a few things that you're going to hear a couple times because there are a few things that like we just want to drive home because of the importance. And this is the vital behaviors. So Maggie mentioned these. I won't go too much into them. And, but just know you need to fill your cup first, which means committing to a program. You should be in a program right now. That is the best way to A, get results, and B, share about the amazing resources we have. Like right now, pretty much everyone that was at a gym even is wanting and needing some solution to fitness. So if you are showing your results and you're showing up and maybe your results aren't physical, maybe it's mental, maybe it's for sanity. I know many of us, like we work out for our sanity, especially in this season of life. So that is like, if you want to think of like a pyramid, like that is technically the bottom. Like you should be doing that the most. Along with number 4, personal development, like PD and doing a program and committing to it and following a nutrition plan and committing to it. That's like, if you can do those things, you are already a successful coach. And then the other stuff, honestly, I find 2 and 3 just kind of, if you're on the call, like these probably just are going to happen. And maybe it's scary at first. Pretty much everyone that was on here was probably scared at first when they first started coaching. And we all started with no one on our team. We all started and had a day one. And you just have to, I don't want to say bite the bullet and share, but like share in your own way. Share about your kids. If you don't have kids, share about your dog. If you don't have a dog, share about your friends that you're seeing virtually right now and what you love to do. If you don't know about the color wheel yet, that I think that's coming up in a little bit. But if not, make sure you ask your upline for the color wheel and literally fill it out. I have mine on my vision board, and whenever I'm like stuck and I don't know what to share, most of the time I just visualize it in my head and I have other places, but I go to that. I'm like, okay, what else makes me me? Because we're not just Beachbody. We're not just coaches. Like coaching is one, if you think of like your hand as all of the different things you do and you're juggling all these balls right now, it's crazy season of life. Coaching is one piece of that puzzle. In fact, I kind of want to call it your thumb because like without your thumb, you kind of can't do a lot. And without coaching, personally, I feel like I would not be able to be a successful wife, mom, sister, and like I wouldn't be a successful human if I didn't have coaching in my life, and I know that. And then the third thing, again, it will just happen because I mean, if you love a pair of jeans, aren't you going to share about it and tell your friends like, oh my gosh, I got this pair of jeans. They were at Marshall's. You should go buy them. Or, oh, this restaurant I went to, we ordered a takeout, picked it up curbside. Like these are things people are talking about because it's helping their life and it's bringing them joy. Well, coaching is helping your life and bringing you joy. And if you don't feel that yet, you need to do 1 and 4 more, like way more, up it, 10x it, which if you don't know about the 10x rule, you should probably read that book soon. Okay. I'll end there. Moving on. Again, guys, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I'm peeking there. I'm actually going to share what I said I was going to share. And hopefully we'll have a few minutes at the end.
All right, so here is this is golden rule. First things first, it starts with you. You can't talk about products with other people and, you know, tell them about a program that if you aren't doing it yourself. You can't talk to them about the benefits of Shakeology if you're not doing it yourself. You know, you need to make sure that you're getting to know the different products. For me personally right now, collagen is like legit my favorite thing. My postpartum hair loss is insane. So you have to like get to know all these different things and try them so that you can then recommend them to people. And know that if you haven't tried something, you can go to your team page and you can drop like, hey, I have a client asking this. So don't feel like just because you haven't used like Power Greens before that you can't ask somebody else on the team about that. You know, you need to be talking about it. This is where like in your story, I always say my go-go juice, which is the Energize, so that people, it's that curiosity marketing. So I'm not like, this is my Energize, I'm drinking Energize right now. You want people to come to you and say, you know, what is that yellow drink that you're drinking? And then they'll, you know, be interested in it and kind of talk to you about it that way. And then, you know, you pay it forward by sharing your journey, and then you try to get other people to start doing it also. You get them started in a challenge group. And then when you see that they're rocking their journey, that they're commenting on other people's stuff because you're encouraging them to do that, then that's when you can say like, hey, I've noticed that you're doing exactly what I do as a coach. Would you be interested in trying to get some of your friends and family to do it with you? Maybe you can get your shakes paid for. And you just kind of try to get people to realize that you have a gift to offer people. Like, don't underestimate the power of what it is that we have to offer. Like a lot of times when people ghost you, they don't say yes, it's because they have no idea what you're talking about maybe, and they just kind of are curious and they're going to continue to follow you first. So that's why first things first, it has to start with you. You need to be committed. You need to be ready to fill up your cup before you can try and bring it to others. I see people here talking about Hydrate. I just recently started using Hydrate because it helps with your milk supply breastfeeding. And I didn't know that until I listened to a national wake up call. So it's like, again, national wake up call, everything sort of ties in together. And now every time I pump, I get an extra ounce. So for any breastfeeding mamas on here, go ahead and get yourself some Hydrate. But just know that your journey right now, like what you're doing, it's going to start with you. And then everything from there will kind of snowball because your confidence will just continue to grow.
I'm like going like rapid fire, adding into the chat room. If you guys wanted information about the National Wake Up Call, I dropped it in there. Just scroll up a little bit. Literally says like what to text and what number to text, and you'll get a reminder. I still most of the time call in just because I find it easiest for me. Okay. So social media, if you are on this call and you do not have, I would imagine you have Instagram, but if not, you have Facebook. One of the two, that is where, or both, that is where you're going to work your business. Yes, word of mouth is also a thing, and you can and should share, like text your family and stuff. But your social media page is your storefront. So you should show up daily. You need to be showing up for your workouts daily. This all, again, like we said, there's going to be things that are redundant because those are the things that are the most important. And when you're showing up for your workouts, I said this yesterday, I think on the Power Hour, or recently on my team page, like you don't have to necessarily show like videos of you, like clips of you moving your body, like if you aren't in a place where you're comfortable with that yet, but show like a quick boomerang before and a boomerang after, show a sweaty selfie, because like legit, like I sweat when I play soccer and when I played basketball, but there are some programs that I didn't actually like sweat that much in. And now the programs that I've been doing, I'm like sweating and I'm like excited to share about it. So show people like, dude, in 20 minutes, this can happen. Like show the beads of sweat on your face. I mean, honestly, saying words to people really does. It's powerful. But if you're like a new baby coach and you're not ready for that, at least show those beads of sweat. Like it means something. Other things like share about recipes. I mean, we all eat and hopefully you're eating well. So don't underestimate the fact that like someone out there that's watching probably wants and needs to hear about what you're eating. And they may not even ask, but sometimes I even put like a poll in my stories and just say like, and I've done this recently, how can I better serve you guys? Like, what would you like more of? Recipes or workouts, like free workouts or, this or that. Just like show them that you're there to help them we're all about serving, like serve over sell. Because if you serve and you build these relationships, like Maggie was saying, it's social media for a reason, like be social on there. And if you're doing that, everything else will come into place. And I'm feeling that so much more in this season of life, especially because so many more people are on social. Share things you're doing throughout the day. Like think of that color wheel. Just be genuine, be a normal human. Like when you're commenting on things, just if you're thinking in your head, I think I actually heard Micah say this in a group that a bunch of us are in right now. She's like, if you're like looking at someone's picture and you're thinking like, oh my gosh, their kid's so cute, I wonder where they got that like onesie or whatever, like ask it. And then share about that and tag that person, be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like it's social. That's the coolest thing about what we do. Like whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, like if you're on this call, you like humans. So, and like, just embrace that. Yeah. Ask questions. Like I said, just post things in your stories, which are like thebomb.com. When I first started coaching, I think stories were like just starting, but I didn't really even know about them and use them for like a few months. And then like I would suggest, and I'm sure you've heard this, like you have to just try something and fail forward. Like I had no idea what I was doing on my social media at first. I've gotten a lot better. I had no idea what I was doing on stories first. I've gotten a lot better. And you're not going to get better unless you try. Like just dive in, ask for support, and just enjoy the journey. Always share positivity. I mean, I personally, and I thought of this recently again in a group that we're in, like I always share pretty much everything. Like there's no TMI in the world of Marissa. Like and my people know that. And most of them really like love it. Like when I get very real and authentic, still keeping it positive, but that's when I get the most engagement. Like people don't want to just hear like, oh, you toot your own horn. Yeah, I did my workout. It was so awesome. And I'm getting these results. Like share the positivity, but also share the realness about it. Like this workout was hard AF and I wasn't motivated. And after I checked in with my group, you know, and you can say this in a post, I usually do this stuff in stories, but like after I checked in with my group, like I realized like I have to show up because I'm the leader. Like we have to practice what we preach, right? If you're not showing up and working out daily and yet you're telling your girls in your group or your husband or whoever else you're trying to support that they should show up, well, things are a little off kilter. So be real, be positive, and yeah, show people that they can do this. Like I know a lot of like coach friends of mine, many of you that are on this call right now, that are just like, if I can do this, you can do this. Like I have been through lots of hard seasons in my life. I'm still in the thick of a hard season, a couple, and I'm still showing up. And that is what's making me a better human. I'm more positive and patient and present with my kids because of this. And I will never not coach, like ever. My girls know that. It will never not happen. So show up on social media, use it like a journal, and just enjoy the journey. Again, I talked so much. Sorry, Max.
I know. Okay, so your first invites, what you need to think is, you know, if you guys are coming in, what you want to do is you're going to reach out to your warm market. Think your girlfriends, think your coworkers, think your family members, think anyone who you think might benefit from this. When I first started 80-Day Obsession, I simply started sharing right away. Then I had some of my old soccer, I played college soccer. Some of my old teammates would reach out to me asking like what it was I was doing, and they were a little bit more interested. So think of who you think might benefit from this. Who do you know that needs a plan? Who do you know as a mom that is busy and needs a 20-minute workout? Who do you know that would benefit from the portion control containers or something like that? Who would you want to work with? Like I have girls on my team that like I'm genuinely excited to be working with them. You want to find people that you are excited to be bringing onto your team. Who wants to support you? So again, that would go back to maybe family members. And unfortunately, that doesn't always, just because they're family does not mean they're going to support you, but that doesn't mean that you can't reach out to them anyway. Who do you want to run a group with? So like my success partner, Amber, and I, you know, it's like I enjoy working these groups with her because we are so like yin and yang. I'm, she's a stay-at-home mom and, is about to have another baby. And I'm, just the complete opposite in terms of like athlete, and the teacher and things like that. So it's kind of nice that we balance each other, but like, I love like who I can actually work with and then who would love this. And then all you need to do is invite them. Hey, I'm doing this program and I think, I know that you love these types of workouts when we were in college, and would you like to do this? Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to find someone that you haven't talked to in 6 years and message them and say, hey, I started this. Do you want to do it with me? Like, no, you need to build that connection. That goes back to the business activity tracker. Engage, go through, make connections and things with them, and then invite. The inviting part isn't scary when you're sharing everything, and then find people who are liking your posts, find people who are watching your stories, find people who are following you, because if they're following you for a reason. They like something that you're doing. They like what you're sharing about. They like the workouts that you're doing, and maybe they are just waiting for you to invite them. I don't know if it was Dylan, I talked about this, or if it was a different call that I was on, and this always stuck with me, and I really hope it sticks with you too. So if you see somebody that puts on their sign, a sign on their grass outside that says like, I'm having a pool party today at 3 p.m., come by. And you drive by and you're like, oh, cool. Like that neighbor, like my neighbor in the neighborhood is having a pool party at 3, but that's not for me. Like they didn't ask me. They just put that out there. That's like your post, or that's like the poll that you put on your story. And then all of a sudden, that person messages you and says, hey, I'm having this pool party at 3 o'clock. Can you come? You're like, oh shit, that sign was for me. Like, sorry if there's kids around, but like that was for me. But there, sometimes it takes that personal invite. So if they're watching your stuff, they are interested in what you're doing. So don't feel bad to invite. If they say no, the no's are typically not no, like it's just not right now, because I either don't know enough information, they want to stalk you a little bit more. Like I stalked Ashley for like 6 months. And they just want to figure out a little bit more of what you're doing. And then, that's why the follow-ups are so, so important. But, you just have to make sure that you're thinking first about your warm market as you're doing all that engaging and connecting, and then you can move on from there. So don't leave anyone out. It's not your job to tell them if they want this or if they don't want this. It's their job to say that. It's your job to invite them.
Mic drop. That
Sorry.
like, no, that is like, it literally gives me chills, because like I also silently stalked Ashley. Ashley's my upline as well for months. And do I like regret that sometimes? Yeah. But then it also
I do. I totally do.
Yeah. But doesn't it also, Max, like help you empathize with those girls that do that? And then they jump in and you're like, I know because I was you. And like, I always share about that. I'm like, I was you. Like I wanted that and I didn't know how to get it. And then I was like, well, duh, how to get it? I just like talk with her. Like she was a human. We're all humans, right? If you're on this call, you talked with someone and you made the choice to jump in. Real quick before I switch the slide, there's a bunch of chat going on in the chat, like in the chat room about just like putting out posts initially and taking your page from private to public. Again, talk with your upline or another coach friend, but I know personally, like I was a teacher when I first started coaching, and for a while, and I did go public pretty much right away because I knew I wasn't going to reach as many people if I wasn't public. And I also knew I was sharing good stuff, like positivity. I didn't show my midriff for a while. Like I taught middle school, and I had kids that like tried to befriend me and follow me, and it was awkward, but I talked with my administrator, and like there are ways to make that work for you. And if you still are like, again, talk with your upline. Like it's something I really hold dear to my heart. Okay. Whoa. So I need to move the chat room because I'll get a little too squirrely. So your first supporters, oh my gosh, this VIP access or the discount coach opportunity, I call it VIP coach discount. This is huge. Only, I want to say like the past like 7, 8, 9 months or so, I started shifting over, and pretty much everyone that joins with me, they join as a discount coach because it is free. And if you talk with that person and you've talked about their goals and you've, found the program, like sent them a sample workout, because we have lots of those. And if you don't have them yet, find them either in the drive or ask your upline coach. I know with my girls, I've shared them, and like, you should be sharing that with people, because then when they're interested and you talk about the value. And personally, I didn't do this in the beginning. I always kind of like threw out the money, because I'm always about frugal, and I'm like, dude, it's like such an awesome deal. You get all of this. And I like word vomited all over the place, but I had to get to that. Like, I had to have those not so great invites and not so great follow-ups in order to get where I am now, where I just like literally voice memo people and have a conversation back and forth. And then we talk about the 160, which is actually less this month. If you don't know that, there's $20 off all challenge packs that are over 140 right now, which is like amaze balls. Like, that's basically the cost of Shakeology as a customer. I think it's like 132. But the whole point of the VIP access, like, you make $50. So if you sign someone up as a coach, and if there's anyone that's going for Emerald right now, like, that can happen in a day. Tonight's Wednesday by 11:59, right? It's Wednesday. It's like so Groundhog Day these days. By 11:59 tonight, like, you could go Emerald. You sign up your spouse or your mom or your aunt or your sister or brother or someone that loves you and wants to support you. You sign them up as a discount coach, and you talk to them about that and why it's going to help you. Like, you're going to make $50. They're going to get access to workouts for a whole stinking year. They're going to get support. They're going to get nutrition plans. They're going to get a product, and like, talk to them about the products, right? Because you've had that conversation about their goals already, hopefully. And if not, that's something that you should do then. And hopefully within the next week, they'll be joining you, and be like, oh my gosh, dude, mom life is so crazy right now. I need my Energize like 3 times a day. And I really like, this will help your life. So you should get the performance line, because you get Energize and Recover, which is going to help you not feel sore. And then talk about that. I know I'm going off topic a bit, but basically, to not get into like the nuts and bolts too much, like, you make $50 by helping someone, and they save about $40. And they get, because if they tried to get if they signed up as a discount coach down the road, they'd pay $40. And they get 25% off. Like, they're just saving upon saving upon saving. So lead with that. And if you have trouble leading with that, like, again, talk with your upline, talk with your coach friends, and figure out like how to have that script with someone, because it's honestly like a game changer, and really helps your team volume. So I think every one of you could go for another $100 tonight. So become Emerald tonight, and we'll shout you out tomorrow, and you'll be $100 richer. Like, okay, that's cool. And moving on.
Okay, so this is kind of talking about that, and I'm really quick going to shout out my girl Lindsay, who's on here, because she is now Emerald, and I'm going to get to shout her out tomorrow. Super excited. So anyway,
Yay,
Lindsay! Invite right now. So it's saying 2 VIPs tonight will make you $100 next week, and it unlocks your business. Until you hit that Emerald mark, if you're looking to build this business, you have to hit that Emerald mark, because that's when you start to get those team cycle bonuses. And that's when, it really, you kind of just show yourself that you're in this a little bit more. You've got some more skin in the game when you've got yourself as an Emerald, and it really just like gets the ball rolling. So if you want to build, then you need to set your goal as getting 3 customers that are VIPs monthly, or minimum as your goal. Okay. So Success Starter means that they've recently just changed this. It used to be your first 3 months only that you would get Success Club. So that means Success Club 5 is helping 3 challengers or 3 people get a challenge pack, or 2 and then 1 Shakeology. Challenge packs are 2 like points each. And then they've just changed it to your first 6 months. So you can get 3 out of your first 6 months as a coach. And when you do that, you also get to be put into the test groups. So like, I know there are some girls on our Inspiration Crew team that are going to be doing the new Muscle Burns Fat, which I am so excited for. That they're going to get to do that opportunity to be in that test group because they were success starters. So when you come out of the gate in the beginning strong, it also sets the tone for yourself moving forward. Like, I hit Success Club my entire first year, and it just gives you that sense of confidence when you're starting. And it also, I think, gives you a bit more excitement yourself. Like you really want to hit the ground running so that you're not like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, and then you stop. Like when you do it straight on from the beginning, it just kind of builds that fire underneath you. So this here, again, like it was just talking about also, there's a U+2. I don't know if anybody on here knows about that. The U+2 is spouse or parent. You can sign up using your card. So for example, I'm just going to say like I have my husband is on my left leg, my weak leg, and I have my mom on my card on my right side. That was me, Emerald, when I needed to. And there's no way that I was ever going to lose Emerald because I had my husband's account and I had my mom's account. And going back to where you should be exploring and trying the products, I get my shakes under me because I haven't gone a day without my shakes since I started. I have my bars and my Energize under my husband because my daughter eats the bars, the Energize I cannot live without because I don't drink coffee. So that's like my go-to. And then underneath my mom, I actually got my mom finally started on the shakes. My dad has lost 45 pounds just drinking the shakes and doing some push-ups every day. And I am so proud of him. But like you can have yourself and 2 people on your card as long as it's a spouse or a parent. So remember that you have control over those options. And, you can, Emerald is a decision. If you make that decision, you can do that yourself there. On your card, like I see something right now, chat. I mean, by on my card is I have one debit card for my account, for my husband's account, and my mom's account. You're allowed to have U+2 on one card. I hope that makes sense.
And if it doesn't, you'll ask your upline coach.
Yeah.
All right. We have 2 minutes, 47 seconds left. So what now? You guys can read what's in front of you. You're in a new coach mentorship. And if you're not, ask your upline coach because there's a Facebook group with all of you. And it's a really cool space that we've created this year where you can see newbie coaches as well. Commit to your programs. Like we said, start sharing, just bite the freaking bullet and do it because it's positivity and that everyone needs that. Have the conversations, hit Success Club, help 3 people, hit Emerald so we can freaking shout you out because it's fun and we get to send you, I'm pretty sure everyone likes little gifts, whether it's a pair of socks. I don't even remember what I got from Ashley the first time, but I then sent everyone the same gift because I was like, these socks were so fun and the little notepad. Who doesn't love getting cool things? So we have a solid minute and a half. Questions. Solid. I'm going to actually stop sharing so we can see your beautiful faces. And I'm sure Dylan wants to do a boomerang.
I was going to say, Dylan, make sure you get a boomerang or get that music going if you need to real quick. Yeah. I'm so pumped. There are 43 of you guys on right now.
I know. Actually, I didn't even see that. Good thing because I probably would have.
Yeah, that's so cool.
48 at one point. We lost a few, but 48, that was awesome.
I know. It was up at 51 at one point. I've been looking at it.
They're probably dang, that Marissa girl, she can talk. All right, let's do boomerang. Guys, just if you weren't able to get your question answered or you were just hesitant and didn't want to ask it, freaking ask it. And